Did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in teen, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure, so venture back down to your slum. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Manapot Studios. I am Karen Russmore, pronouns he, him, and I am the GM for this merry little adventure we call All That Glitters Explodes, where we are taking the crew of the Fool's Gold on a daring investigation, but more on what happened in what is currently happening after we introduce the crew, starting off with Flimsy.
Ooh, I'm JStation64, pronouns he, him, playing Flimsy the Dwarf Mechanic, pronouns also he, him. And Flimsy's wee little legs are going as fast as they possibly can.
Hi everyone, I am Krifu Bernal, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Yeva, the Sarkeesian Witch Warper, whose pronouns are she, her. Yeva is thinking that she cannot catch up to this construct that we are chasing, but maybe it's time to cut losses? Don't know.
Yo, I'm Craig Commissions, pronouns are they, them. I am playing Trix, Space Pirate Extraordinaire, pronouns are she, they, and Trix is about to catch this guy and knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that the right team are equally close to catching their guy.
Oh, I'm Retro Ted. I play Jahir, who is a Kasatha soldier, and Jahir firmly believes that Trix is still behind him. She passed him at such speed he didn't even notice.
All right, and before we just get into the recap, we are going to have this week's Pack of Facts as done by JStation64. Take it away.
Hello. So, as we are hunting down the deadly and surely irredeemably evil Jask Biskask, I thought it would be a good time to take a closer look at the big bugs from Castromel, the Formians. A hive-like species towering between 6 and 8 foot tall on their 4 chitinous legs. You'd need one heck of a can of rage to try and clear these guys out. With a giant cockroach body and a humanoid upper torso, they could be described as the centaurs of the bug world, but maybe not to their face. Formian life is about community and coordination, working together, which means if you pick a fight with one, you're probably going to have a bit of a brawl on your hands. The settlements usually consist of a single hive, all telepathically linked together in a single hive mind, structured into specialized castes, all centered around obeying and serving their queen, much like life here in the UK. Lowest of the low are the worker class, the backbone of Formian labor. So ubiquitous are these workers that some of them are never even given a name beyond the number which they hatched with, and don't have a drive to get one. They're just happy to be just number 45. The warrior caste, on the other hand, are given a far stronger identity, which helps them kind of be more effective in combat. But it also means they're more likely to set out on their own and leave the hive. So if you encounter a Formian out in the universe, it might be one of the warrior caste. There are also the taskmasters, who are kind of the traders and dealing with the outside worlds, and the Mimarks, who are the aristocratic caste of Formian bugs, who make up generals and advisors who work for the queen directly. Kind of epitomizing the innate hierarchical nature, like within the Formians, the queen is literally and figuratively at the center of every hive. To populate the hive, the queen produces a never-ending stream of egg clutches in a process that, once started, can never be stopped. Mercifully, this process is done apparently without any conscious awareness by the queen, allowing them to go about their queenly duties all the while, constantly firing out eggs. Much like our Lizzie, the queen is the absolute authority within her own hive. Taking a hands-on approach, directing the colony, will meet with the lower castes personally to give like direct oversight and instruction, which you might think would be a little bit impractical given that the queen is constantly in a perpetual state of birthing. However, their ability to mentally possess and take over any member of the hive at will means they can actually get out and about quite easily without ever having to leave the throne room. Unfortunately, for quite a long time, the direction that the queens did seek was combat with the other hives. That was until the establishment of an overqueen, kind of a queen of queens, created what is described as a meta-hive. Now unified to a common goal, the Formians turned their formal fighting force, unfortunately, towards the Lashunta, in what became a millennia-long conflict on Castrovel, until a peace was brokered in 287, but still kind of left a lingering bad taste between the Castrovelian Lashunta and the Formians. Nowadays, moving up beyond their warlike past, the Formians work to adopt other species technology and industrializing their traditional hive workforce and society into a powerfully efficient kind of workforce that rivals even that of robotics. And within the Veskarium itself, Formian hives have been found carved out of rock and ice of the asteroid belts that ring Vesk 5. These hives have caught the attention of Hivepot Keshkan himself, as rising concerns of their recent expansion brings to question the motives of the meta-hive's presence in Vesk space. Will Jask Basask know what these vast intentions are? I'm 100% certain he will, and look forward to hearing about them from the GM. And there's Formians for you.
Getting strong Starship Troopers vibes, though.
Yeah.
Would you like to know more?
They're not quite the swarm, although the telepathic linkage is meant to be quite similar to the swarm, the kind of hive mind.
One of the things that I find interesting about the Formians is that they are found in multiple places throughout the galaxy. But as soon as the gap was over, which suggests that they made it to these other places during the gap or pre-gap, but
The Veskarians, yeah, they weren't there before the gap, but they were there afterwards.
but they're not entirely sure how they got there. In a lot of cases, it's like they're there. Oh, how did that happen?
My theory is they emerged there from the elemental plane of Earth, which is where they supposedly originated from in Pathfinder.
Ooh. I didn't go far as back as Pathfinder. I did solely Starfinder research.
I think that's one of the things about Pathfinder Starfinder is like you think you're stumbling on something potentially new or different, and then you actually find out that it also has ties and links in with the Pathfinder universe, and it's like, oh, so I don't know the full picture. And it can be confusing at times, but it also, in the case of the Kasatha, it gives them a bit more background information. But trying to dig through the Pathfinder lore sometimes is a time-consuming process because it's not particularly well catalogued and or condensed down into, like just searching Kasatha and Pathfinder and getting all the information.
So the Formians in the Gavaniska system are not a part of the Veskarium? Is that what you were saying, Quincy?
That's what the reading implied, was that their expansion has concerned the Vesk. But then there are workers within the Veskarium, so I think the hives might not be part of the Veskarium, but maybe the workers, the leavers of the hives do, because once they're in a hive, they tend not to leave. It seems they are.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, the Vesk control the planet, and the Formians are on one of the moons, and it's a bit of an ambiguous. The Veskas are like, we control everything in this system, and the Formians are like, okay.
Yeah.
We're not going to argue with you, but we're also not going to do what you say. All hail the Queen.
Mm.
The Emperor versus the Queen.
Never doubt the worm.
High
Never
despot.
doubt the worm.
Right, so what happened in the last session? We are in the middle of an investigation into the butcher of a city that I can't remember the name of. Let's see if the players remember it in the moment. But they are being... the crew have been tasked to trace down this Informian who stole a briefcase from a controlled facility on Vesk 3. And they have followed them here to the Gavaskar. I should really have my Gazgar system. And to the planet of Gaskar 3. They managed to beat them here. So, during a couple of days, first of all, they unloaded their cargo that they had and also broke into this Formian's apartment above a music shop that they apparently own. Found a little bit of information, but are still just waiting on the Formian to arrive. They decided to stake out the place and see if there is anything else going on. And at that moment, two constructed individuals were spotted outside, just casually walking past the shop every hour, which seems to suggest to the crew that they're up to something, nefarious or otherwise, and decided to give chase. Well, started to follow them. At which point, the two constructed individuals broke into a run, and split off from one another, and the crew gave chase. Trix and Jahir went after the guys on the person on the left, and Flimsy and Yeva went to the person on the right. I have my notes. It's probably one of the first times that I actually had to re-listen to an old episode and actually write down notes as to where everybody is. We are essentially at the top of the third round. So, Jahir, you've seen this individual dive into a side street, breaking line of sight with you, but you know roughly where they are. You're roughly about 120 feet away.
I know it's only been a fraction of a second since last week, but in that time, Jahir had an epiphany while on a school run in a mysterious universe. Is there like someone taking their child to school on a scooter, or some kind of bike where I could purloin to get me some extra speed?
Make me a perception check.
This has nothing to do with the fact that all the school mums always overtake me on their children's scooters. Perception. Okay.
You need to get yourself a faster scooter, mate.
Well, I've been walking. I was only born with legs and things. 13.
Unfortunately, you don't see anybody in an open vehicle, bike, scooter, something that you could easily pull on, I'm afraid.
Okay. So I think I know where they've gone, but not 100%.
You know that they've gone down, you know which side street they've gone down, but you have lost sight of them directly. So you can, run down that side street and see what there is there. I'm gonna run to the opening of the street while shouting back at Trix to hurry up, get a move on. Thought you were fast.
So far behind you can't see them.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, so like halfway through your movement, are you doing a double move to get as far forward as possible?
Yeah.
You do overtake Trix once more, briefly, towards the end of your double move.
He looks slightly confused while Trix... How did you get there? Just assume it's a clone and carries on.
That's one way of Trix being able to get everywhere all of the time, all of the speed. It's not like, clones. All right, next up we've got... Oh, sorry. So yeah, you turn the corner and you can see them now probably about 60 feet ahead of you, running up the street. This side street. There's a few. Okay, no. There's a few sort of, it's a much quieter street. You were on pretty much main road where Flimsy had stopped all for traffic. This side street is a bit quieter, and there's sort of like apartment buildings, a couple of shops and that kind of thing. It's a residential area more than it is a commercial district.
I think he's going to start sort of reaching around to get the rail cannon ready.
Right, yeah.
Sort of a last-ditch attempt.
And Trix, you are up.
I think Trix is just gonna double move. When I say break into a sprint, I don't necessarily mean actually sprinting, but she's gonna double move 100 feet and get ahead of the dude.
So you've basically run past the guy or circle around him a little bit just to sort of like head him off. Oh, okay.
Stop in front of him and just like, ha, got you now.
All right, they are going to look at you with a bit of a shocked expression on their face, but you now see pretty much for the first time them up close. And across the top of their faceplate, you can now see that they're an SRO rather than an android. And just below the brim of the hat, there is the number 2.
I don't want to say who do you work for, number 2, but it's quite an obscure reference.
All right, you are up. About 105 feet away from the guy who, the last you saw him, he was trying to put another major road between you and him and absolutely stacked it, bouncing off a car. I should remember they until you identify gender.
Yeva, she's starting to feel like this is hopeless. Is there any way, she doesn't know the terrain very well, but she's gonna do like a quick look around and see if she can maybe take a shortcut while losing this person, like the line of sight, which I think maybe already like fleeting. Try and mind games, guess the direction they're headed in, and circumvent the long distance.
Let's have a sense motive.
That's not good. All right, let's see.
All right, sense motive or perception.
Sense motive would be preferable. Okay. Oh, natural 2 for a 9.
Yeah, you're in this part of the city is like it opens up to sort of like storm drain runoffs and open concrete plazas. It's a little bit difficult to guess where they're going to be going.
She looks back. How far is Flimsy behind her?
Flimsy's about 10 feet behind you. Last time you spent a moment to cast another spell while Flimsy had just pretty much ran.
That's right. She sees the Flimsy's not far behind, so she's gonna turn and just run, pure run, to try and keep up with this person.
All right, you're gonna have to cross. Are you running parallel along the road, or are you gonna try and run across the road?
Is the traffic still stopped?
No, different road.
Let me guess.
Did they jump over? Sorry.
I was gonna say, let me guess. Running parallel, I won't be able to stay close, but running across is more dangerous. But I can get closer.
Precisely that. You'll be able to get closer if you ran across, and if they did something, you might not be able to react if you're the other side of the road.
Okay. I don't know. Is it acrobatics or athletics to try and move between traffic?
Your choice.
Acrobatics. She will try and
Yep.
dodge traffic. She's pretty big, so maybe she's hoping that they'll just like see her coming and hit the brakes.
Do you have intimidation by any chance?
I do.
Would you like to try to intimidate the traffic into stopping before running out?
Yeah, she just boldly runs into traffic, hoping that her greater size 16 intimidate will intimidate them into stopping.
Yeah, you sort of like run out into traffic and sort of like try, somebody comes very close to running you over. But at the same token, they just slam on the brakes and squeal to a stop. And you sort of like take a moment to just stare them down.
Hey,
you're probably
I'm
going to be
walking
able to.
here.
You're probably going to get about 45 feet ahead from where you started off.
Okay.
Okay, and next up we have Flimsy.
Lindsay is going to try and just all-out sprint. If they can do, is it got to be in a straight line? I can't quite remember what the layout is, the situation at the moment.
So you can run in a straight line to do a sprint, which is 4 times your movement. And you're in a sort of like a T. You were at a T junction. You've messed up the lights, so the perpendicular road is stopped. You've crossed that road, but now they've run across the other road of the T junction to put some distance between you and them. They have stacked it there on the floor, but if you wanted to run directly at them, you'd have to be running through traffic. But you could sprint down your side of the road and avoid traffic altogether.
Yeah, I think Flimsy will do that. I'll stay on their side. If Eva's run across, Flimsy's going to try and stay on this side and just get as far forward as they can.
Yeah, so you managed to run a fair distance down this road without crossing it, which puts you about 20 feet away from them. With your movement speed is your movement speed is 20 knot. You're probably about 30 feet away from them.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, do get a
I
view
thought
of it?
your movement speed was 25 for a reason. You're stumpy little legs.
Yeah. I keep thinking it's 25 whenever I'm not looking at the character sheet.
Rightio. So we've got Right. Right is going to get themselves up from the floor, and they are going to sort of like run at this fencing that is down one side of the road. You don't see anything rising up over this fencing from where you're stood. So you're going to have to get a bit closer to see what's the other side of it. They are going to run at it, and they're going to try and jump, make an athletics check to get up and over the fence. They do not have athletics. So they're just going to have to roll me a d20. And they're struggling to get purchase on this fence. It's sheet metal. And they're just struggling to get purchase on the fence, and they're grinding away at it, but they're not making it up over the fence. They've probably made about 15 feet roughly away from you guys before running headlong into this fence, essentially. All right, so number 2 or left is going to try to basically just yell and intimidate Trix. It's like just yelling at you to stop following them, as it were. So 22 as a result. Intimidation to make you shaken is demoralize. 10 plus your opponent's intimidate skill, or 15 plus 1.5 times your level. Your level is 4, 6, 21. What's your intimidation? Is 4, so 14 or 21. You take the higher, 21. I rolled a 22. Trix, you are shaken for a round.
No. No, not shaken.
Third.
And they do that before ducking down, so like a very back street kind of area. Before they run into you, they sort of like dive off to the left and into this alleyway, as it were. Shaken, you take a -2 penalty on ability checks, attack roll, saving throws, and skill checks.
Oh, I was thinking of staggered. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of statuses in Starfinder, so that's why I read them out. All right, so that is them done. Back to the top for round 4. Jahir, you are up.
So are they still 60 foot away? Or
They've
moved
gone
again?
down another alleyway.
Right.
But that alleyway, the opening to that alleyway is probably about 40 feet away from you.
So I haven't got like direct line of sight on them.
No.
And if I moved just my full movement without running or anything?
You'd be
Would I have
coming
line
up
of sight then?
on the alleyway. Make me a perception check.
Is a 23.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult from the angle, but you do get the feeling that you've got a bit of a line of sight on them as they're sort of like running down these sort of like fence panels where you get the momentary glimpses of them.
Can I take a risky shot to try and sort of kneecap them?
You can make a risky shot. Are you going non-lethally with this to kneecap them, or are you going lethally with this?
No, I'll switch on my fusion, my merciful fusion on my massive rail cannon to make it non-lethal.
All right, and roll to attack.
Shall I just...
Yeah, just roll to the attack. I got the numbers here. Don't worry about it.
That is a 15.
EAC or KAC?
KAC.
That is a hit.
Ooh. Do I still roll the damage even though it's non-lethal?
Yep, roll the damage.
That is a 4.
There should be a modifier on that, which would be at least your level. So don't worry about that too much. I'll get that fixed on your character sheet.
Okay.
There we go. So that is actually 8 points of damage. And you see them sort of like stumble a little bit. And that is you.
Yep.
You've moved, you've seen, you've shot in the middle of the street. Okay. Trix, you are up.
Trix is going to kind of shake out of her momentary stupor and continue the chase after Mr. Robo Dude.
You basically run around this corner and you can see that they're probably no more than about 20 feet away from the edge of this corner. You got plenty of movement. You got like 40 feet of movement left.
I want to run at him, and I know it's probably fall into the trip combat maneuver, but I want to dive at him.
Okay, you're going to dive at them.
Mm-hmm.
Make me your trick attack.
That would be a 14.
Okay. So yeah, make me a melee attack now.
Do attacks count as skill checks? I forget.
I don't know, but
It's either an 8 or a 6.
It's either an 8 or a 6. It's not gonna
It matters
land.
not.
Yeah, You basically come around this corner and you start running after him, but just as you're about to go in for the dive, he pulls some crates in front of you and you just plow into them. Rolling out of it without injuring yourself, but at the same token, yeah, you've not managed to get a grasp on him. Them.
They're slippery. They're slippery.
All right, Yeva, you are up.
So they are about 15 feet in front of me trying to climb up this fence.
They're like 25 feet away from you, I think, because you didn't quite catch them up, but you got close.
Okay.
And then they ran 15 and then over the fence, or tried to get over the fence.
I will move up I'll move up 10 feet so that I'm 15 feet away. And as she moves, she pulls out a web grenade. So, because right now I'm exactly out of the 10-foot radius, she's gonna throw it straight at them and try and web them to the fence.
All right, make me your ranged thrown attack roll.
Come on. Oh, 14.
That will indeed hit. Do I get any kind of save on the web grenade?
It should be it's typically a reflex. Well, the web grenade, I think the web grenade only does the mire effect, which I don't know if you save on that.
The mire effect?
It turns the area into difficult terrain.
Okay.
For 1d4
No, it's not like the
rounds.
sticker grenade that
Yeah.
keeps them in place.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
There is a save.
it's gonna turn it into difficult terrain for 1 round. Well, that's fine.
Right. Yep. So yeah, and also for the sake of this, it's basically it's splattered up the side of this fence, which you might think it being sticky is a great thing, but it's not, because it'll stick to them more than it sticks to the fence. So when they try and grab hold of it, they won't be able to get anywhere because it'll just pull off in their hand as well.
Right, and she'll shout out, "Stop! We need to talk to you." And that's it.
All right. Flimsy, you're up.
Flimsy's gonna get out a frag grenade. No. How far away? How far away is the unidentified robot?
You are what do I
On the
say?
other side of the street.
You're about 35 feet away.
It is a single move for some. It's a double move for Flimsy. I'm gonna try and catch up to Yeva, since they seem to have them, and if possible, approach from an angle that Yeva isn't, to kind of see if we can box them in slightly.
Oh, okay. So you're now going across the road. So and you're coming up behind them, as it were. You don't have the movement speed to flank all the way around them.
Yeah, just as much as possible from there.
Yep. All right.
We just want to talk.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to give you this, trying to get across the road. Most of the traffic has sort of ground to a halt as they're rubbernecking to see what the hell is going on. There's a giant worm running across the street, and it's time to throw grenades at people. They're not lethal grenades, so they're not calling the police or anything. But at the same token, they are sort of wondering what is going on. So yeah, you manage. You're now within striking distance, melee or ranged, but that is your entire move.
Do they seem like panicked? They seem like they're going to turn on us. Like, I guess it's difficult to tell with the.
Make me a sense motive. It is difficult, but that difficulty is by a
14 from Flimsy.
14. Yeah, you're not really sure. They seem determined to be more than they are panicked, but determined to do what is a difficult read. All right. Your So the one on the right, they now turn to Yeva. And you can see that they've got the digit 4 on their faceplate below the rim of the hat. And they told you it's like you're very insistent for somebody who wants to just talk. What do you have to talk about?
You're obviously casing the same joint as we are. We'd like to know why.
This is a very, or it's not a very, but it's an effeminate voice. And we were not casing the joint. That establishment is under our protection.
And who is our? Who is us? Who are you?
I am Charity, Mark IV.
Well, Charity, why don't you try giving us some information?
How about you give me information instead? What were you doing casing the joint?
Yeah, it was like, oh shit.
I tipped my cards. No.
She pulls off her glasses because she's wearing like sunglasses and that cheap like blonde wig. And she pulls them off and she's like, "We have reason to believe that the proprietor of Sonic Futures is in trouble, and we were hoping to speak with him before those who are after him get to him."
The proprietor of Sonic Futures is not currently on this planet, and were they to arrive, they will be under our protection. You need not concern yourself any further.
Yes, but I'm not exactly sure that your protection is sufficient. Who are you, and why are you protecting him?
We are working on behalf of a acolyte of Waden, and like I said, we are Charity. Who are you?
Acolyte of Waden. So I know about Waden. I know about the acolytes. Do I get the sense that she? You mentioned feminine voice, so I'm not exactly.
It is a feminine voice. They are notably a she, although to a certain degree, it's all like the. I will give you an image now.
Ooh, yes, please.
Although.
Mark IV, Charity.
Ignore the digit under the wide brim hat.
Oh, I love that. That's she's so
for a
cool.
robot, an SRO.
We are private contractors who are investigating a private matter of great importance. Perhaps we can speak with your supervisor and get further to the bottom of this issue.
At this point, we're going to pivot to Charity 2, who is going to draw a rather large gun. And now that they've gotten rid of most of the public, is a little bit less inclined. They're going to sort of like turn it on Trix, stepping back a little from you before opening fire. I can't target you either, so let me know if a 18 to your EAC will hit.
Well hit.
As this gun seems to flare up in sparks of electricity and fire and strikes you for 6 points of damage.
Then I come before that robot.
Do I know if does it feel lethal or non-lethal?
Oh, it feels very lethal.
Oh.
You guys shot first. Just pointing that out.
Not lethally, but yes, we did.
Yeah, you did. All right. So top of the round is Jahir.
So distances again. I take it they stopped moving. So
They've pretty much slowed down. If you walked, you're still like 5 feet from this alleyway, so that you can see clear down the alley. You walk that 5 feet, you'll be able to see them and Trix, not a problem.
could I try? How far will I be if I just walk my normal speed or run my normal speed?
If you moved your full speed, you'd probably be within like 10 feet of them.
Right, okay. Can I move up to them then, to the 10 feet? And then the tack clash does non-lethal, doesn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Can I try and tack clash them?
Yeah, you can try and tack clash them.
Is a 18 to hit.
That will hit.
Damage is 11.
Okay, they are looking very, very rough.
I'm trying to sort of, would it affect them if it's electricity? Or?
It's not going to affect them any greater than it would. Oh, I've just realized something, however. It doesn't affect them at all. And neither did your first shot, I'm afraid to say. It caused them to stumble, but it didn't cause them any visible damage.
Okay. So what do I see then if it just hits them and they just stand there?
You see your weapon basically just... Where usually when you're knocking somebody out, you see them react as so like you whacked them over the back of the head with a sap, or you've shot them with a rubber bullet and there's an impact there and they react based on that. This, it's just they've taken the hit, but because it was non-lethal, it's just been absorbed and disregarded.
Okay. I'll just Jahira make a note of that and think about his next action.
Trix, you're up.
Trix is gonna get up off the floor and pull out her own gun, aim at the SRO unit, and just go, "Oi, those bullets hurt, you know. We got you surrounded. Don't move."
Make me either an intimidate or a diplomacy.
Would you accept a bluff
What are you bluffing?
that we have them surrounded?
You kind of don't do. Okay, yeah, I'll accept a bluff.
28.
I mean, just. I can't beat it. You fired upon me first. Of course, bullets hurt.
You don't look any worse for wear.
That's because that wasn't a bullet.
Exactly. So what did we fire upon you? Nothing. Look at these holes. Look at my armor. Who's
You
gonna
shall-
dry clean this?
You shall recover in time. I'll tell you what, call it a truce. You go your way, and I go mine.
You tell us what you were doing walking around that shop so many times first.
Me and my associates are protecting the establishment,
But no one's home.
which makes it more vulnerable because the owner is away on business.
So what, he hired you as private security?
After a fashion, Yes.
The owner did.
The owner is doing work for my associate, and as part of that work, we were to protect their store.
And who's your associate?
A follower, acolyte of Whedon.
Yeah, there's loads of those.
Indeed.
So, who?
And at this point, we're going to go over to Yather and Flimsy.
Yeva gives a quick look back to Flimsy, just to double check that he's there, and she will turn back to Charity Mark 4, and kind of like hold her hands up, like up, not up like this, but like up, to her shoulders, to show that like she's not armed. Like, sure, there was that grenade, but it was just a web grenade, and the webs have dissolved by now. It's been around, and she's like, look. I think that we could stand to share some information with one another. If you would allow me, I can radio my colleagues who are currently chasing your partner, and we could have a roundtable discussion. Perhaps with this acolyte you mentioned.
Make me a diplomacy check.
Yes, please. Natural 20
Ooh.
for a 32.
Very well. We shall call it here. I will contact my associate with regards to whether they desire to meet you. You have to understand client confidentiality. I can't take you directly to them. If you give me your contact details, I shall contact you if I can arrange a meeting.
Do I get the sense that she is on the level here? They seem pretty straightforward now that we've cornered her.
Make me a sense motive.
She'll also like give a quick look back to Flimsy to see how he reacts. 16.
Flimsy?
It's a reasonable suggestion. We're not getting anywhere with these guys. We need to speak to the head honcho.
You're going to make a sense motive as well, please.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
22.
Yather, you feel that they're on the level. They don't seem to have any reason to lie to you. Flimsy, you get a strong sense that they're on the level. They are not posing as your enemy. They are presenting as the sort of like private security for a concerned business owner. And the third party that they're speaking of, they do feel like they are bound to try to keep the confidentiality up, and they will probably follow through with their discussions.
It's like us and the captain. Like we're not going to drop his name, so that they wouldn't drop whoever it is there with his name. Something might ask though, if you're security, can I ask why did you run?
Why were you following us?
Well, we're going to ask you a question. Well, the questions that my colleague Eva here has asked, but you broke out into a sprint. But I was just wondering, as security forces, is that usual procedure?
We can't gun you down in the streets.
Oh, so that was the plan.
We were going to evade reevaluate, and return.
Reasonable. I like it.
All
Ask
right.
questions first, shoot later.
Exactly. So Yeva will like palm her comm unit over Charity Mark IV, her comm unit, so that the contact information exchanges. Because it's got to be that easy in the future, right? Like just.
I mean, it's that easy these days if you have the right tech for it. So yeah.
Exactly. That WhatsApp QR code. All right. If we don't hear from you by midnight, we're going to assume the worst.
I mean, I will contact you in due course. I cannot guarantee a time schedule.
Well, an update, whether or not your colleague or was it employer?
Our associate.
Associate. An update whether or not they have considered the offer or you have yet to find them. By midnight, I'd like update, please. My name is Yeva of the Fool's Gold.
We shall update you in due course, as soon as possible.
Thank you, Charity Mark IV.
And at this point, Trix and Jahir, you see Charity Mark II essentially just stand down, discharge their weapon, and holster it.
Just pull my collar up and go, all right, men, stand down. We're good. And do the same.
So, what was the last thing that you asked them?
Does your associate have a name? There are many acolytes of Waden.
They would prefer not to be known at this time.
Yeah, bet.
And we don't know that what's going on. We don't know why it stood down. No contact from Yeva or Flimley.
They've not said that they called you.
Well, it's good that you saw that you obviously get your ass beat if you stood around with us too. Tell me, what happens if you don't do your job of protecting, or you fail at it?
We would be replaced.
Oh, okay. Well, it sucks to be you then, because you've already failed at your job, and I know that firsthand because I was in that shop yesterday.
Trix
So
just
maybe you should.
winces.
So we can either play this one of two ways. We can help us out. We can go and find your fellow Mark, or I could just beat you to death and take your hat. It's up to you. You don't shoot one of my crew. I shot you with a rubber bullet, and for me to shoot someone with a rubber bullet, it pains me. It really does. I would quite happily have just taken your leg off, but but Trix here says, I need to calm it down, tone it down a bit. So this is me calming it down.
Just a smidge.
My associate has already informed me that they have come to an agreement with a dwarf and an individual named Yeva.
Trix winces again. It's just using your real names, sure. I'm gonna call my comm unit and be like, and call Yeva. Yeva.
Hey, Forex.
I've got an SRO here saying that you spoke to their to Righty.
They're what?
The robot you were chasing, Righty.
Righty. Yes, was about to call you. We've struck a deal. She should hopefully be introducing us to their associate.
So we're just letting them go?
I'm giving them deadline. Updates by midnight. I don't know. We could. We might need to regroup and talk it over. And as she says that, she's looking at Charity Mark IV, just like raising well, she doesn't have eyebrows, but raising that place above her eye.
You just hear Jahir in the background go, Trix, it's a banana? We bananaing?
No, we're not spinaring. Stop using my name.
Sorry, Trix.
No.
Sorry. Okay.
All right. Looks like you're in the clear, Mrs.
Charity. Mark II.
Charity. Mark II. Though, if you're not doing anything illegal, maybe next time don't run.
Why did you run after us? If you're
Why-
not doing
why-
anything
why did
illegal.
Why? Because you ran.
Just because somebody runs down the street doesn't mean that they're doing anything illegal.
It does when they turn, they look someone dead in the eye, and then they run. That's the actions of the guilty.
But you ran after us.
Because you ran.
But why were you following us?
Because we have questions. Because you were sus.
Don't put the SRO into a paradox, Trix.
He's already failed his mission. Forever. It's okay now. He's failed.
I guess we're meeting up with our parties? I don't know.
So yeah, if you're done talking, they are going to excuse themselves from your presence and go their merry little ways.
Let's
Are
meet
you-
up back at cafe.
You're going back to the cafe.
I could use an iced latte.
I was gonna say, you even ever finished the latte. Kinda wanna follow him though.
If anyone can, Trix can.
I can't stop you.
I head back to the shop. I head back to the cafe.
Yes, if anyone were going to follow behind them, it would be you. The rest of us would only slow you down.
And as you saw, like, all reconvene in front of this cafe, a Vesk individual comes over, and it's like, "Are you going to pay for the damages?"
Damages?
Your dwarf friend there. I got rear-ended because of a stunt you pulled. Are you going to pay for the repairs to my car?
Trix grabs a coffee and runs.
Well,
If you weren't appropriate stopping distance away, you're the one who's liable, my friend.
They rear-ended me.
Well, there you go. There's your insurance sorted.
There you go. You just admitted it wasn't his fault. Now, toodle off and let the big people talk.
Make me an intimidation check, Jahir.
Can I assist?
16.
Yeah, flimsy, you can assist.
Oh.
Although I think you were more taking a diplomatic approach.
Yeah.
So I'll allow that to stand for an assist.
Cheers.
Just think twice before you start pulling stunts like that. Somebody could have gotten seriously injured.
Uh-huh.
I'm very sorry.
You'll get seriously injured.
It won't happen. I'm putting a hand on Jahir's chest. It won't happen again. It's fine.
And so I huff off, not without knocking your table slightly. Not enough to tip it over, just enough to spill the coffee down the sides.
You see Jahir bringing up the rail can and switching it to... Spanana? I've had enough of not spananaing.
Thanks for your backup there, Jahir. The guy's twice my size.
I wasn't expecting them to be representing an actual acolyte of Waden. I thought, I don't know, rebels or gangsters or something.
Didn't we have suspicions of an acolyte of Waden? Was maybe, or at least someone who was saying they were an acolyte of Waden, wangling something out of Jask?
Ah, the doctor, no?
Yeah, you hear your comm beep, and you just go, yeah, the doctor.
Let's meet that before we discuss any further.
Because Trix grabbed a coffee and ran.
Are you going after them?
No, I was just
No.
running away from the Vesk.
Okay.
I don't
Away
want to
from the
pay
Vesk.
anything.
We can get coffees to go or sit at the cafe. I was thinking we might want to actually go into shop today, since we know for a fact that these guards will be busy elsewhere, and we have time to kill before we hear back from them. But whatever.
I can see if I can have a go at the door. Was there a back door to the shop, or was there only a front door?
There was a front and side door, but both are on the main roads and are covered with video cameras.
Hmm. Yeah, just checking my notes. All I wrote down was that Jaskin had met a doctor. Did the journal, the diary specifically say that this doctor was a Wadenite who was investigating inoculation? I put that in.
At the very least, they were posing as a Wadenite, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if I've inferred or we did learn that they were leaning on the Waden belief to get some stuff out of
The
Jask.
communal thing, absolutely.
Yeah, we inferred. We've not been
Okay.
able to prove or disprove that they're not followers of Waden.
I mean, you could still be a follower of Waden and be wanting to use the blue bugs for
Hellfire.
bioterrorism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, that doesn't stop it from being I don't know about Waden specifically, but there is a splinter faction of Serum Ray that, because Serum Ray is all about redemption and redeeming oneself, they basically take it as a get out of jail card free to do whatever they want, as long as they follow up with doing
They're
something
forgiven.
to redeem themselves, so they are forgiven.
Right, because Waden is chaotic good, but that doesn't mean chaotic neutral people can't worship him and, like, still do evil. I mean, it's a little far off, but there is exactly, just like that.
Yeah. And also, it doesn't stop them from being sort of like using the principles of Waden to promote their own agenda.
Right, I mean, anything... I'm assuming that we're kind of, like, conversing about this in character as well.
I don't know why I'm getting involved in the conversation.
Because it's helpful.
Thank you, passing stranger.
The waiter just like chiming in. I mean, anything in the name of resistance, right? I mean, this whole planet, for example, was born out of resistance against the Veskarian.
Like, wiping out the Vesk could be considered the charitable thing to do if you were of the right particular perspective.
I am just worried about running into another situation, much like the one we encountered when dealing with the Golden League and the Hobgoblin army on that one planet.
At one time.
You know, name of planet here.
It would be nice not to be mired in another political mess, if possible, and just get the job done, but it doesn't seem to be the way things go for us.
mean, we won't know until we speak to Whoosy What's It.
If you do want to look inside Sonic Future whilst we're waiting to hear back from our mechanical friends, I can perhaps disable the cameras for a moment, but it'll only be brief. Like we did
I
back in the
imagine
doctor's
brief's all we
office.
need, but I know I struggled to see an easy way to do it.
Is the ship still scanning for the drive signature of the other ship?
Yes.
I take it it's not pinged up anything.
No, Flimsy's got it programmed up to send a ping to their personal comm when it detects the lucidity, and no ping as of yet.
I don't think we're going to find anything in the shop. You know, I'm not stopping you from looking, but I mean, we found something in the apartment. I can't see them storing anything in the shop.
That's fair enough.
Right. Then all we have to do is wait?
At least until midnight when you've got your deadline.
And then what?
Could we maybe ask any of the other local business owners if they've got any protection from these similar individuals, or whether it's just specifically this shop?
Do you think it's a racket?
If it's a racket, then it's a racket. If it's just this shop, then someone's.
I mean, it's a music
specifically-
shop. Of course, it makes a racket.
It's possible that the charity line of constructs is well known around these parts. We should definitely ask someone. She can cast social veneer.
Yeah, you ask around
Charming.
a few of the shops in the local area, and it's like, no, crime rate around here is not significant enough to justify additional protection. I'm comfortable enough leaving my shop overnight, and it'll still be intact in the morning.
Does the presence of the guards indicate that something important might be in the shop?
I mean, maybe they just are a little bit more paranoid than other people and have hired security, or yeah, I don't know.
Well, the charities knew that the shop owner was away on business, so either they have direct contact with her, or they've been watching her very closely. It's Jahir's mentally thinking, like, you know, could they work out how far one of these SRO robots could walk in an hour, you know, like a distance, and is there like a Woden temple in the area?
There's a couple of places, but no temple. You know, they're more churches, shrines.
Is there... Yeva isn't the one to research this kind of stuff, but maybe there's something in the infosphere about the charity line of constructs. What they do, what they're built for originally.
Let's have a computers check.
Try and look that up for you, Eva.
Yeah, please. Because I can spoogle, but that's not going to be enough for what we're looking for.
27 from Flimsy.
You don't find anything on the charity line of SROs. You do get a couple of things on charity, but that's just usual people begging for money.
Is it not an established line then, if that makes sense, or is it?
No, it isn't a model produced by any manufacturer known here, and it's not a charity line. It's not a manufactured line that you're aware of.
Okay.
Flimsy, could you hack the alarm system to tell us if it's been deactivated in the shop? So then if we miss the person coming back, we might at least get a tell.
It tells me from previous adventures that kind of computer might be inside the shop. Is that the case?
Yeah, it will be inside the shop.
Okay. Is there any kind of terminal port access on the outside?
No.
Having
Everything.
going and outgoing communication.
There doesn't seem to be any access points, wireless or otherwise, from outside of the shop. Whether it could be or whether it's just turned off, you don't know.
I guess we
Well,
might
we could
have
have-
to wait then. Sorry.
We could ask that really friendly, insightful waiter that was helping out in our discussion earlier. We could just give him a persuasion bribe, maybe tip us off if someone comes back. He seemed very invested in our quest. So.
I love it.
Maybe a little too invested. What if he was a mole?
Or a potential fellow new crew member.
Yeah, we haven't adopted anyone. It's been like an hour almost.
Hmm.
For me and waiter did seem very well informed.
But yeah, I think go back and wait, see what Zobin's cooked up for dinner, get some rest.
Yep. So you're heading back to the Fool's Gold?
Yeah.
Like a plan.
Who's leading the charge back to the Fool's Gold?
Do you hear? Because I want to see Mrs. Spudsy.
As you arrive at the Fool's Gold, over the entryway where the doors usually split open, there's a police warning slapped onto the side of the ship. A little packet docket kind of thing.
I'm certain
You've
this
got a
was
parking
no-park
ticket
area.
again.
I didn't illegally park. I had to verify our incoming with the freaking shipyard. It's a trap.
Didn't
I'm
we
not going
promise
near
him
it.
something?
And you'll go and, I guess, peel it off the hull.
Yep. Peel it off. You reading it?
Throw it into the wind. No, who'll read it?
How did they get it up there on the windshield? That's what.
You can put me down now, Jahir.
It is a fine issued to the crew of the Fool's Gold for causing a public disturbance.
Yeah, burn that one.
50 credits.
Pay it.
I didn't cause a public disturbance this time, though.
I think they're talking about me.
I can, if you've got that flimsy, I can, if you don't have it, I can help you.
No,
But-
I've got it. It's fine.
Okay, better to pay it off than have random bounties.
And another legal force on our tail.
Uh-huh.
Word
Just-
of
just
advice
tell
though
him
for future Flimsy, if you're gonna cause a public disturbance, make sure you film it live, and you can get loads of views and partnerships from it.
Time I use
So-
my
so we
ability
did all
to
that.
try and solve a problem.
We did all that and only got a 50 credit disturbance. I'm gonna fire out that cannon on the thing and have some fun. I've got $2,000.
Well, I guess they do believe in personal freedom here on this planet. So, there's disturbing the peace, and then whatever else.
But yes, you arrive back at the Fool's Gold. Sit down for dinner with Zobin. Wind away until the evening when Yeva, you get a comms. It's a text message rather than a phone call, and it just reads, Stoneblood would like to see the Formian before meeting.
She she shows the text message to everyone. I
Doesn't
think.
say anything about. Sorry, go.
Go for it.
Doesn't say anything about us not seeing the Formian before they see the Formian.
And I wonder if Jask perhaps may want the personal escort to see this stone blood.
So happens we're free.
I wonder if we should even give Jask a choice.
The answer is no.
You settling in for the evening?
We're gonna hang about in case the bus rolls in.
Let's rocks up. Watch the skies.
So we all settle down for the evening, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, Flimsy, your ping goes off, waking you from your slumber.
Absolutely uncalled for.
The lucidity has arrived.
Arrived or arriving?
It's in the airspace. It's beginning its descent.
We'll horridly, groggily get up and wake everybody else and alert them to the imminent arrival at the docking bay, I guess.
It's going to be coming into this spaceport, yes.
Cool.
You might not know where it's going to land. It's a fairly large spaceport, but what is the plan? You can try to figure out where it is going to land and run over there and accost them as soon as they come off the ship. You can, there's a couple of exits towards the city that you can run towards and accost them as they're coming through the exits. You could go back to their shop and wait for them there. What do you want to do?
Getting to their landing pad, from what we've experienced, would we have trouble getting through, like, security or whatever?
No, not here. It's like a giant car park. It's just without knowing which parking space it's going to be in, you're gonna struggle picking the right one unless somebody can do some really fancy maths and work out the trajectory.
We not look at the sky and see the big boat coming in.
Yes, but you're gonna want to have to start moving before it actually touches down.
It's one of those things too, where like when you land from a flight in the middle of the night, like first of all, it's gonna take a few hours for you to get out of the airport and get home, and then by that point, like you're going, if it's like 5 a.m., you're going straight to bed. So maybe we go in the morning when he's there sleeping.
But then what if he's been jumped by the SROs in the meantime? We don't know how eager this Dr. Dude or whoever it was they mentioned over the text messages to see the Formian.
I would also like to point out, because this is your characters thinking, not you thinking, how often have you landed with a briefcase full of the bioagent?
All the time.
Then I say we... Sorry, did you hear?
I was just going to say that Mrs. Spudsy could do with a stroll, and I'm sure normally these shuttle services normally dock at the same docks regularly, I would assume. So, and there must be an arrivals board if it's a public service.
That's true. We know the name of Stoneblood, was it? We could tell them we're from Stoneblood, at least to get their confidence for a while we get them somewhere quiet.
Oh, that's super hard. Is that made them even more skittish? But I like it.
So what are you doing? You're
Gonna
going to go
try and catch them where it lands.
All right.
Figure that out.
Because you're right. They may not be. Jask may not be going straight home. Maybe instead going straight to this Stoneblood character to drop off the package.
Okay,
It's
make
that
me.
important. They might send someone to meet her, potentially.
Exactly.
Them,
One of these
sorry.
charity cases.
Make me perception checks on where it is going to land.
Can I make a computers check to check the landing board?
Oh yeah, natural 20,
Nice.
31.
Dirty 20.
Is it worth it?
25 from Paizo.
I mean, Jahir just roll it because it could be sort of like pretty respectable, but yeah, I think everybody else has got it.
Nearly a natural one, but it was a 12.
So you don't think it's landing anywhere else, you're just not sure. But yeah, tricks being tricks, it's like they hold up their fingers to the air and squinted it a little bit. And it's yep, if I was playing that, I'd land right there. And yells, follow me, and runs off.
Yeah, I do the whole tasting the air, and then I track it and I go that way. And then just run.
I'll meet you there.
Pick you up, but I'm weak. But I'm all noodle out.
So you make your way to where it has landed, and you see the passengers alighting this ship.
Should we hold up a
And
sign
there
that
for a
says
couple of
Jask?
seconds, I wait for the rest of the party to catch up.
Do we know what they look like? I just thought.
We do.
That's what-
We
You
do.
You got because they pulled the image for you off the computers of the
Very-
security cameras.
They're like green.
Distinct looking Formian.
Maybe that's what Formians from Vesk 5 or whatever look like.
And there's just a whole party of them that just get off the ship. Like,
Oh.
oh.
But we even know what the briefcase looks like. We we might not have screenshots, but we've seen it.
Mm.
Yeah. And shortly after you arrive, you see Jask alighting the vehicle and looking around, and then start making their way towards the edge of the docking bay, as it were.
Are there any noir detectives in the area?
Make me a perception check.
Keep an eye out for those charity cases, everyone. 26.
You do see one. They are sat in one of the floodlights that cover this entire area. They are perched right at the top, in pretty much Overwatch with a rifle.
They've got a sniper up the top. Can they see inside the exits gates from the?
And this is, literally think more car park.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
the
they're
sniper
doing-
pointed at the... I want to call it the luminosity and then the lumity, which is the ship
Lucidity.
in the outhouse.
Lucidity.
Lucidity.
What about the lucidity? Sorry.
Is he trailing the sniper on the lucidity on the group and the Formians walking out the ship with?
They're not pointing at anybody particular. They're just in an Overwatch stance for this entire area.
You have
Well,
an Overwatch unless something was going to happen.
And that's weird though. Does that strike Trix as weird?
what, an Overwatch?
Yeah.
It'd only be weird if they didn't think that there was a possibility that they were going to, Jask was going to get intercepted. And what is it you guys are doing again?
I'd like to place myself somewhere along the path that I think Jask is going to walk. And I just need to be within 40 feet of them so that I can cast Charm Person.
I can see if I can do something about that light if you like.
What if
Will that
Sarah's
cause a
dark
panic?
vision?
Oh, they might have dark vision, that's true.
That might cause a. We don't want any. I'm trying to be as non-disruptive, as subtle as possible.
Oh, yeah,
What's
yeah.
one more fine?
You can approach fairly easily. There's nothing particular stopping you.
Okay.
Don't worry, if I'm going to stop you, the first thing you'll realize is that you're getting shot.
Yeah. No. So, but specifically, she's like kind of like moving around to where like the passengers are getting off, and like they're gonna walk past her, and she's just kind of like nonchalantly maybe staring at the arrivals board, or like, you know, standing at a coffee machine, like getting a cuppa out of there. Just
I'm
trying-
sorry, just to remind you, you're a Sarkeesian are in the middle of essentially a parking lot. They know you're there.
Right, not at all trying to not like to hide or blend into the shadows, but just trying to appear casual.
Yeah.
And as soon as Jask is within 40 feet of her, she'll kind of like turn over her shoulder, and the iridescent glow appears from underneath her cyan fringe, as these waves of energy shoot towards Jask and kind of come over their head. And I need them to roll a DC 15 will save. 'Cause my plastic surgery went up by 1.
Ba, 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 ba.
I'm nervous. Charm Person's such a finicky spell.
Sorry, what was the DC?
15.
Do you know if it succeeded or failed?
Time to look up spells.
It doesn't say anything about whether or not I know it.
Okay, so you've cast Charm Person and...
Right, and then I'm gonna bump into them afterwards. Is this okay? Are you all okay with this?
Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I sort of like turn to you and say, oh, sorry.
Oh, excuse me. And?
They're just, unless you say more, they're just gonna walk on past and...
Wait, sorry, do I know you?
I don't think so. I don't recall many Sarkeesians.
You're the owner of Sonic Futures, right?
Yes, that is me.
Jask, my name is Yeva. We've never met before, but I heard great things about your shop. I'm quite the, I don't know, follower of experimental musical and sound techniques, just trying not to sound sarcastic as she says that.
They did warn me about you.
Who did?
Charity.
Ah, you're familiar with Charity as well. Good. Good to know that I'm not dealing with a complete nincompoop.
Well, I mean, they are. They have been protecting me and have been assigned to protect me. They thought it only right that I be informed as soon as I arrived in the system.
Glad to see that you are informed, aware, and protected. Do you think you'd have time to speak with me real quick, friend?
I have time, but yes. Please keep it quick. It's been a long journey.
Listen, I work with a party, a crew, and we're not exactly sure that you're dealing with someone who has the best of intentions. We'd like to know more about what it is your employer has asked of you.
They have asked me to aid them with their research.
But do you have any idea what this research could potentially do, what harm it could bring?
Make me a diplomacy.
Okay. 23. Not the best.
It's one of them close ones where it's like, I want to double check what DCs
Gotta
are.
see what they got. That's what I love about Starfinder and Pathfinder, is that, like, when it comes to social checks, like, it's not just like, okay, well, maybe I feel like it. It's like, no, there's a stat, and you add this number to it, and it either succeeds or fails. And she tries to, like, surreptitiously, cast a glance about and see what the rest of the crew, where they are, what they're doing.
Person, if it was effective, does what? It moves them up to friendly?
They regard me as a trusted friend and ally. They treat the target's attitude as friendly.
Okay. I am familiar with what they've asked me of. I have no reservations or concerns towards their devout state. I have been asked not to say too much about this to anyone.
I understand. Being in my team, we have worked our fair share of subterfuge. So I can understand the importance of keeping things secret, but you have to understand, what you are carrying, and she kind of lowers her voice, can be quite dangerous. And I personally would not entrust it in the hands of anyone who is devout, regardless of what deity they claim to worship.
It's not a claim that they make. The evidence is there for those to see. What I am carrying can, yes, be deadly, and I have seen the effects of this. I know what it is I am carrying through and through. But again, I'd rather not tell you too much. Stoneblood has a lot of enemies in the Viscarium.
I've made contact with the charities who represent Stoneblood, and our crew indeed has audience with Stoneblood in the near future. But I would ask you a favor. Could we escort you to the delivery of this product?
They pause for a moment and consider. Only if you're willing to undergo the same treatment as I for meeting Stoneblood.
Treatment? Is there a trial or a test of sort?
I don't know where Stoneblood is.
That'll do it. All right. If you allow us to escort you and accompany you, I can swear that me and my crew will protect you as best we can.
That's not a concern.
Maybe it should be, but she doesn't say that part out loud.
You ignorant fool.
Listen, if it's not these charity cases, who might, I don't know, turncoat, you've got the Vescarium on your tail, friend. They could be following at any moment. If we were able to beat your ship here from the Gavaniska system, you can bet the Vescarium might be able to as well. Although that's kind of a bluff, because we were sent by the Vescarium.
Yeah, which side are you playing for again? Sorry, just to clarify, which side is that statement coming from?
She's trying to act like we're an interested third party that's just worried about dangerous materials going out, being transferred like this.
Well, how do you know about these dangerous materials?
We've been to the factory.
The Vescarium facility.
Right, that is not a...
They're not gonna shout it. You're not gonna see this in the newspapers unless Vescarium have a conviction.
It's okay. A concerned employee who security guard who survived the attack let someone more like someone more secretive than us know about it, and we were contracted by them.
To what end?
To make sure that
I'm not taking. This is all out of character.
Okay.
I'm asking you, what the is your cover story right now, because it's falling apart.
I think all four of us, if I might be speaking for the crew.
You can discuss amongst yourselves. I'm not taking this as what you're saying to the guy for the moment, because your cover story is falling apart, and you would have thought about this.
I think we're all concerned that Oathbreaker is the doctor, or has hired the doctor, and will actually use this as a bioweapon. But if not, Yeva's smart enough to know that some of her more heartfelt compatriots might side against the Vescarium in this mission. No?
Yeah, but where did you get this information from?
Tricks? Maybe someone...
I mean, we're not going to give away our sources.
Trick
put them
on
at
mute,
risk.
by the way, if you said anything.
Yeah, I have informants. It's not their business.
Could we
So-
argue that we've been notified that someone might punch her ticket, as it were, and we wanted to, or we could say that we're trying to help her, basically. We've been tasked with disposing of her or stitching her up, but we want to... Something didn't add up when we investigated.
It's true.
Some sort of interested third party.
I mean,
All businesses and parties in the Vescarium are owned by the Vescarium. The only interested third parties tend to be the people that they work for.
What if I'm sure there are underground criminal organizations in the Vescarium. Maybe the Golden League?
But also, like, has this formula never done a deal like this before? You don't go in and, I'm working for Stephen. He lives at 15 Sainsbury's Road. Like, it's all like an informed told. It's never... you're never going to lay it out on the line. He didn't tell us anything until we told him that we knew it already.
Yeah, but this is the part that... This is why we're having this conversation out.
Yeah, and this is...
What are you telling them? Because if you say certain things, this is going... certain things that you may say may trigger the people to start shooting at you.
Yes.
Other things that you say may help galvanize your relationship. I want to know exactly what you're saying before chaos breaks loose, because you've had time to plan a cover story or what it is you are or you aren't going to say. This is a point of discussion before we get back to the scene.
To a degree, though, we are just picking this out of the air because we don't have any information outside of what we've just talked about. It could go one with the other.
I mean, you could just try to be vague and cryptic yourselves and not say too much on the matter. It's just, I felt like Yeva was playing a lot out on the table without potentially thinking this through.
Right, and I didn't want to say
story.
the Veskarium sent us, but we might be swayed, all things considered. I feel like representing ourselves as like members of the Golden League who are intrigued that but the Veskarium could maybe be in a weak spot here would help us move forward in this position. At least to help present us as allies of the rebels. I don't know if rebels is the right word. Of the Waidenese, of the Oathbreaker.
The Golden League's MO align with us, these rebels? Or
Closer than the Veskarium would.
It's true. I feel like vagaries might be better than putting a name to anything.
I'm going to lean in the direction of the underworld, though. Vague, but criminal element.
I've got tricks who can attest some well-known words, the commonly used underworld words.
Right, so
I have smuggling circles. They've heard things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go back into the scene. They've just said that you will follow the same things that they do to get to Stoneblood.
Great. Well, thank you for thrusting me.
The thing is, we are going to meet with the charities. They are going to escort us there. And we are not going to be sure where there is until we get there.
Perfect. And she'll kind of lift two fingers and just wave them a little bit so that the rest of you know that it's on.
So you all approach and continue.
Let me introduce you real quick, Jask. And she will just introduce everyone just to keep things on the level as much as
Real
possible.
names?
Yes.
Do you just see Trix wins? Yeah.
We don't have code names.
We need to get
Rodriguez
some.
and Hasselhoff, nice to meet you.
Too late now, Flimsy.
You walk with Jask to a unmarked black van.
I've got 4 hours on the charm person, if it worked.
And the two of the charities offer you hoods.
Burlap sacks.
Offer? I'm good, thanks.
You can still walk away.
You guys not sorted out blacked out windows? Do you have to go for the whole bag situation? It's very old world.
Yeva will take a
Trix
hood.
just
helps.
shrugs, grabs the bag, and climbs into the vehicle.
Lindsay's saying this while putting the bag on his head.
Yeah, and they tighten up the bags and make sure that they're secure and that you can't get them off. Jahir, Yeva, you getting a bag and getting in?
Yep.
I'll take the bag, but I'm not going to put it on my head. No, thank you.
They're going to insist on it going on your head before they'll take you to Stoneblood.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've got quite an elongated head, so...
It goes as far as like a beanie.
It's more like a beanie.
Yes, and Yeva there has a head about 4 times the size of yours due to their stature. Don't worry, it'll fit.
These guys have got bags for everything.
They don't discriminate with their baggage, you know.
They're just very fancy. They're actually bags of holding.
If I rip it, I'm not paying for it. Yes, I'll put the bag on.
Yeah. So you are driven for what feels like a couple of hours. Some of you may doze off because it is still, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But you eventually arrive. And you are bundled out of the back of the van. And the bags are taken off the top of your head. You look around and you're somewhere in the countryside. All that you see is this rubble of a building. And
I'd just like to... Sorry, go on.
No, carry on.
Jahir was just going to say it's the best night's sleep he's ever had, and thank you. Very hospitable.
And they escort you to around this rubbled building, and
Is it like a modern building or a? Like a castle?
no, it was a recent construction, but it is just flat. It's not. It'd be hard to call it a building any longer. And Jask mentions that this was once a temple to Waden, Liberator's Sanctum. This area was abandoned when a natural accident, natural event,
Natural disaster.
natural disaster. There we go. Words. Natural disaster apparently destroyed the building, and you move around the building, and it's kind of like looks like it was a fairly sizable temple at its time, but also, they walk around the ruins until you come to a set of stairs that is absolutely covered with rubble and debris.
Sorry, what was the temple's name again?
Liberator's Sanctum.
Does it look as if the rubble is from a natural disaster?
Yes. It looks like it's just caved in at this point.
Not an experiment gone wrong was my suspect.
Yeah, no. There's no signs of biological contamination or any kind of explosion. It's just, bricks and mortar all crumbled in. And one of the charities whispers something under their breath, and this rubble begins to melt away.
Could we have caught what they said?
Deception check.
Flame breath.
15.
Anybody else?
Yeah, kind of.
Nope.
Yeva would have been more focused on the apparent magic happening here.
Mysticism check.
27.
Nice.
Nobody caught the words, although Yether, you sort of like, as you're watching this magic unfold, it is a fairly strong illusion that is there. You know, it was like, this wasn't just there to look like rubble, it was once actually rubble itself that's been turned into an illusion. It is as physical as you get, and the code word for activation is the door is always open. Rolling over that mysticism check, a well-known aphorism of Waden.
That's exactly what I thought.
I don't know what an aphorism is. I'm guessing it's like a phrase or a saying of a particular deity.
Like a psalm? I'll Google it.
Yeah. I mean, we've got chat for these kind of things. You Google it, chat. Tell us what it is. Somebody will drop it in there eventually. And you are led down these stairs and through. The building downstairs seems to be relatively intact. It's cracked in a couple of places, but it has been kept fairly clean. And you're escorted down through this set of double doors at one end of a short corridor into...
Is it still stonework?
When I said the upstairs was stonework, it was bricks and mortar. It wasn't stone. It wasn't a collapsed cathedral in the British sense. It was aphorism, not aphorism, not aphorism.
A pithy observation. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And you're led into this area where there's just rows of medical beds. And there are drones, so like just moving through the area. They don't stop you, they don't acknowledge you as you're walking through. You know, if your path would collide, they move around you, and they all seem to be flying back and forth, monitoring the patients. Let's have a round of medicine checks.
Not trained.
11 untrained.
14 from Flimsy.
Yeah, Flimsy, the only thing that you can say for any degree of certainty is everybody here seems to be suffering with the same ailment.
Are they coughing? Are they unconscious? Like, what kind of...
They appear to have charcoal grey bulbs that are ebbing and flickering as if there's some internal fire to them. They swell and look like they're about to burst with every breath that they take. The entire room smells like an open campfire.
Oof.
Could we deduce that this seems to be the symptoms that we've heard about from the Hellfire toxin?
It's not an unreasonable assumption to make, but with your medicine check, I shall neither confirm nor deny that.
Okay.
You're then led through another double door at the back of this room. About 11 of these beds in total in the room. To a room that bears the Wayden symbol on the floor. There are wait.
Are we? Maybe the four of us kind of stand around desk. Does that make? Would we have done
Bodyguard
that?
positions.
Yeah, you're getting escorted through, and however you want to stand there, not. They're opting to hope that you're on the level with them at this stage. You see in this room a Vesk, and another SOR. This one with the digit 5 emblazoned below the rim.
The Vesk, Stoneblood. Perhaps? Sounded like a Vesk name to me.
You see, on the there's a Wayden symbol on the floor and dozens of displays that seem to be tracking something. Several maps, pinned marks on the maps, as well as physical paper maps hung on the walls with various notes. A blue crystal in the wall emits a strange but pleasant hum. The Vesk turns to you, and you see maybe culture checks are that you can go for mysticism.
Yes, please.
28.
14 mysticism.
Or 12 even, sorry.
2 for a 1.
That you know that there's something up, but you're not quite sure what with this desk. Tricks. They're a Borai.
Oh.
A Borai is an individual who has passed away, and something has brought them back to life.
Could be their own stubbornness. It could be a botched resurrection ritual. It could be tons of different things.
And they turn to you and say, "Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to share an image, because why not? Images are cool." Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, the heck are dead.
Something looks... I only got a 14 on 12 on my check, but something seems odd about this Vesk. I can't tell.
Something seems odd to you, which is why I basically told everybody to make the culture check, but only, they definitely knew something was odd. And Trix is the only one who knows roughly what's happening here.
I was more reflecting on the glowing red eyes and the cracked white skin.
Yeah. But at the same token, it's like you walked in the room and it's like, oh, you're an odd-looking Vesk. Never seen one quite in rough shape like you. Trix knows that they are a Borai. Previously been dead.
Look it.
I don't know you. But I suspect you've been the one sent here by some Imperial agent who calls me Oathbreaker. I don't answer to that name. Through my life and death, I have held my oath to the Veskarium. I remain Agavana Stoneblood.
I mean,
So what's
fair. I
your-
didn't know your name was Elfbreaker, so yeah.
I think we did get told that you were bringing Agavara Oathbreaker. We discussed it, I believe, when you got
We did, we
told
did, we
about the
did.
initial investigation. Yeah.
That was what they named
No, yeah,
her.
no. Trix is playing dumb.
Oh, okay.
I know this is the person we're looking for.
Fair enough. So, what is it you want here?
Are we going to be honest? This is out of character, sorry. This is the real
I mean, we
film.
have been so far. They know our names. You know the name of our ship.
We had every suspicion that you were behind this, Agavana. But we don't know your intentions with Jask's delivery here. And that is what we came to find out. No? Yes?
Yes.
I am trying to find a way to inoculate people from this hellfire toxin, to prevent them from dying the same death that I did.
Are you the one who weaponized the Hellfire?
No,
Then who did?
the Adamant Scale. They're a faction within the Veskarium. So well hidden and full of subterfuge that not even the Council of Despots know all about its existence. The Adamant Scale claims to protect the Empire and strike at the enemies, but their members answer to no one but themselves. They're the ones who tested the Hellfire toxin on a city, a Vesk city. I was there the day that it happened. It's the day that I died.
This is going to seem really rude, but insight.
Yes.
Sense motive.
Make me an insight check.
Yes, please.
22.
21.
9 from Flimsy.
Oh,
Another
flimsy
undead.
bleeding
God damn
heart
it.
over here.
They creep you out. It's all it is.
Dealing with more ghouls.
Well, I've got now to do. 12.
They. Bum. They're not lying to you. They've not lied to you from the moment you walked through the door.
So you had nothing to do with the weaponization of this toxin.
No.
You claim.
See. Sorry, go on.
Go.
Can you see how maybe acquiring some of these bugs that created the toxin would maybe implicate you as an Oathbreaker?
And what else was I supposed to do but let the adamant scale take this shipment as well?
Have they taken others?
They've taken others, and I believe, if my sources are correct, that they're on. See, if they weren't quite impressed enough with killing everybody in the city, it didn't happen quickly enough for their liking, and they had to go in and kill the survivors. They've spent their time tweaking and improving it. They may be on the, they've done very localized tests. You can see my patients out there, the victims of their further testing. I'm trying to track them down. I'm trying to track their movements. I feel that they're on the edge of trying this all again on the scale of a city. And with nothing being done for inoculation.
Seems like an inoculation would be quite against whatever it is their desires are.
Which is what I intend to do. I intend to thwart them. Hopefully this time, if not the next, or the next, or the next. You can probably tell by my condition that I've got a very long time to work at this.
Did you arrange the second attack on the blue sky die?
The blue.
True Blue Die Works.
True Blue Die Works? That's the
I was like, that's definitely not the name, but I need to look at my notes.
Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, that's not the name. He's getting somewhere near the right words. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the True Blue Die Works. I wasn't aware of that there was a second incident at the Die Works. Why?
It was proposed that it was a cover-up to help your friend Jask here escape. Did we get a number on how many it was?
With everyone he talked to.
Everyone they talked to were eliminated by these potentially six figures, and stole a bunch of the blue dye.
Probably an effort by the adamant scale to cover up the previous theft and also prompt the Vescarium into hiring some dupes to do their dirty work.
No, you see, if it was a cover-up, they would have buggered up the cameras, but they didn't. It's all there.
Yes.
All pointing to...
But it looks like there's been a break-in, whereas if our operation, nobody would have been aware of a break-in.
So, we had discovered that the blue bugs, the centipedes, the remnants were being destroyed. You claim that this adamant scale have been taking them secretly and continuing to work on the Hellfire toxin.
Yes. Once they found out the potential from the bugs, they purchased the entire facility. It's their operation through and through.
I mean, I was wondering where more victims came from as we walked through these halls. Fuck.
We were tasked with apprehending the individuals behind a potential threat to attack the Vescarium using the Hellfire, which, if what you're saying is true, is not yourself. Maybe you could point us in the right direction.
I don't have anything concrete at this stage. I'd just be pointing you after ghosts.
Well, see you later then.
I need more time to work on this inoculation. the adamant scale is a nuisance and a thorn in my side, but at the same token, I can't protect everybody until I perfect this immunization and get it distributed to those in need. Then that will render the adamant scale moot until they can be dealt with.
Can we have like a timeout? Because my brain hurts, and he's told us some big things here, and I just want to, could we have 5
In character?
in
By
character?
all means, they leave you in this room. The two charities move to the infirmary. The Stoneblood and Charity 5 go to another room, the other side.
And Jask?
Jask goes with Stoneblood, taking the briefcase with them.
Of course.
Just saying that before one of you gets smart.
So I'm struggling to keep up here, and my brain hurts. So the people that employed us are the people that are testing the weapon on people?
No.
Is that right?
No.
No. Okay.
No, of course
There's
not.
a secret faction within the Greater Vesk Empire.
Imagine it like this. Imagine there's some secret Golden League guy in the background just going, aha, yes, evil plans. This is what's happening there. And the guy that hired us is all legit and on the level, like Tarika level. And yeah, I'm making sense.
Right. Okay, so did anyone happen to notice the people in the infirmary? Do they look like they've been accidentally / deliberately exposed, or is it? What I'm trying to say is this person trying to pull the wool over our eyes, or are these people generally have come into contact with him and he's trying to help them, or he made them come into contact?
Well, Stoneheart's been on the level so far. I haven't gotten any. Not even a whiff of a lie.
Stoneblood is also a she, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to maybe ask her to run over some of the medicine with me and the kind of the procedures they're doing to see if I can get an idea of it. It might reveal whether or not they've been behind any of it, or if it is indeed this adamant scale. Has anybody heard of the adamant scale before?
Culture checks.
$17.
15.
0. What's a check? What's a culture?
No, nobody's heard of the adamant scale.
Why would we have? They are secret even to some of the members of the ruling government in the Veskarium. This is exactly what we were afraid of from the beginning of this job.
It was. Well, I knew it was too simple.
Well, we could just do the job to the letter of the contract, and we've done our part. Get paid,
Yes.
fly off somewhere else.
But I have a few points. One, I worry, given the history between the Veskarium and the Pact Worlds, of this toxin being used against our own citizens sometime in the future. Point B, too, off of that, is if this inoculation proves to be successful, perhaps we could market it and sell it in the Pact Worlds as defense against Veskarium. I'm sure the politicians in Absalom Station would be interested to learn about something like this.
I don't think Stormblood will have a problem with that. They seem to be mostly interested in getting people inoculated. How we disseminate it around the pack worlds and the profit we can make off that is it's our own business, I guess.
If we can negotiate with her to get sample once it's finished, or to help her finish it, or to keep the adamant scale off her back, but that is also bigger picture, that it is one more enemy to add to our list.
Tracking down the adamant scale seems like it'll be difficult though, and that's what we agreed with the captain. Unless we do bring them Stormblood, but I'm not sure how well that sits with me.
I mean, we did outline that, you know, if it turned out Stormblood didn't do it, then we needed to gather evidence and bring in who did.
You're also going down that route. It will be probably a wise idea to inform Fireheart before you go chasing after the adamant scale what you're up to.
He told us to. I mean, I know he was adamant that it was this Oathbreaker, but if we prove him wrong, you know. And why does he need so much of it to form the inoculation?
Well, she wanted to keep it out of the hands of the adamant scale.
As well as use it for the inoculation. And flimsy from the medicine training is like most toxins are actually derived from the poison itself, the venom itself, so it's one of them.
The people of Gascar 3 are in the most vulnerable position. For once the scale perfects this technology, this planet is the first to be tested on. And if it is a successful experiment here, it's only a matter of time before it comes to the Pact Worlds.
The perfect testing ground. One island, one big city.
Absolutely zero military or police presence.
Well,
Fuck
not
the
a sizable
Vesparium.
one.
Fuck them so hard!
They're not a Pact World Protectorate yet, so they're not going to get any protection from them. They've already cheesed off the Vesparium, so yeah, they're effectively a non-player in all of this. But they do have some ships, but yeah, nothing to prevent a full-scale invasion from the Vesparium.
Yeah, well, I still don't understand, but thank you for taking the time to help. And whatever decisions we make it as a group. But who are we to decide? This level of thing. How deep? Do we want to go in the affairs of other planets? And we've already got EJ after us.
You think
And the Golden League.
And the Golden League.
Pratt products.
And Pratt, yeah.
Honestly, I would take example from any of those organizations. Were they to learn this information, they too would try to find a way to gain from it. Whether it be stopping Stoneheart here, Stoneblood. Stoneheart is, we were talking about George R.R. Martin earlier, which this is actually very similar.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a Fireheart and a Stoneblood, so it's all...
I wouldn't put it past Edge to stop Stoneblood here in her tracks and make the money off of the Vesparium, but the Golden League, on the other hand, might try and finagle this sort of information and product, the inoculation, for further gains in the future. War is money, after all.
Mm-hmm.
But
Something like this on the market would be priceless.
Your point number B was basically the same thing.
Right.
So how does that make us any better than them if we're profiting?
It doesn't, but it means we're profiting and they're not.
I'm not trying to be better than them. I'm trying to be smarter, quicker, more successful.
How do you think we should proceed, Jahir?
I don't know. Me personally, if I just took that suitcase and threw it out the airlock into the nearest sun, problem solved. Go on, happy days. You know, I'm not a big thinker. I'm not into political moves and this finagling. You know, I just do a job. It's black and white. You know, it's getting harder to think like that. It's.
Oh, are you growing a conscience, Jahir?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've got this rash, but I don't think it's that.
Ooh.
I mean, you know, obviously I've got a big head, but sometimes it's a bit empty, and this just seems like we're messing with things that are far beyond our level. You know, I just wanted to take a moment just to talk it over and just to tell you that, you know, I'm struggling with this.
Only issue with the plan of taking that suitcase and throwing it into the nearest sun is we go back to Captain Fireheart and we've not brought him anything. We've not brought anyone to justice. All we've got is our word. And then we'd have to we've already been paid, so we'd have the Viscarium on our back.
So maybe then we could broker.
You've not been paid by the Vescarium. You've received a signing bonus, but that's
okay.
not contractually binding to that. You've received a signing bonus for accepting the contract. Completion is the payment.
Cool. So we wouldn't get paid if we didn't do that.
If you don't bring Stoneblood back dead or alive, then you're not going to get paid BPs.
Right.
Or the person who did it.
Or the person who did it.
I mean, that's 3 options ahead of us then. We can easy money by turning in Stoneblood now. Longer route in finding the actual butcher that Fireheart requests, and the third one is the one I'm fond of, playing politics for the long con and coming out the head of everyone.
There's number D. We just get Zobin to make the decision and then blame him.
Number
At
C.
this moment, the door bursts open as Stoneblood enters a room, and it's like, sorry to interrupt, we've got incoming. We need to be out of here as soon as possible. And starts packing away. It's like, I assume that you've been here to capture me or kill me. Either one, if you're going to do it now. But I would prefer to avoid violence. I need to get out of here. I've already planned for such things, and it was only a matter of time before I needed to move on. And they're saying this as they're walking around and just packing stuff away.
You have transport out of here?
Yes.
Can you drop us off at Gascari City?
Charity 5 will take you back.
I'm offering partnership.
The ship is coming here. I'm not going to Gascari.
Fuck.
They're packing up.
Okay.
3, 2.
We're going to help you. Future partnership deals, trade deal to be negotiated, but we're on your side for now. Stoneblood.
We've got one of the fastest ships with one of the biggest capacities, and we've got money to invest. We're going to help you, but
I need to get out of here now. The ship is coming to pick me up, and they just start gathering up stuff, throwing them into a rucksack, and You're now walking and talking as they're going through the infirmary, and the infirmary bots are just basically lining up these beds and proceeding out of the stairwell and upstairs. And are you following?
Yes.
Yeah, Trix will follow.
And as you sort of come to the surface again, you see a rather familiar ship, the Wintermorn.
Yes, that was ours.
Yes.
Coming into land.
Knew I ran
And-
into these guys on the job. I freaking knew it.
Not the D team.
It lands and the cargo bay doors open and just the bots start moving the infirmary beds up into the cargo hold of the ship. The crew of the Wintermorn, Neither, Nemolith, Jinx, and Dizzy are sort of like stood at the cargo bay doors, sort of like directing roughly what's happening, and Neither comes down to Yeva, and it's like, well, fancy meeting you here.
Yep, although one of my crewmates does not seem to be very surprised. She looks over at Trix.
I thought you'd be against us, but this works too.
I mean, I'm all for going against you again sometime, but now's not the time. We've already been paid for this one. I'm afraid you're going to have to take the back seat.
No worries. We'll,
About that drink, now's probably not the time.
Great.
I think we know well enough as a team to fall into it's their ship for the moment. We'll get on board.
Well, they're going elsewhere. We don't know where they're going. But Charity...
And Stoneblood wants to keep it that way.
Yeah, but if we have Charity with us, well, that's our way of maintaining contact with Stoneblood.
Link.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, let's see.
And
Charity case on the ship.
New friend! New friend!
New friend.
And with that, Stoneblood is already packed and stowed away, and it's like, I gotta go. We're out of here. See you around, guys.
We'll be in touch.
And
good luck.
you
Hope
too.
your pilot's better than they were last time.
You got lucky.
I don't know. I don't know where you're going, but we'll see you there. Probably 2 days before you get there.
And with that, they alight and they just tear off into atmosphere. Charity turns to you. Charity 5 turns to you, and it's well, that was all in a day's good work before an explosion of plasma blasts them, and they
No.
evaporate. You see 2 BCM maulers streak overhead. You all dive for cover, and they turn once they've finished their strafing run and start heading after the Wintermorn.
Fuck.
ECM
Neither
Molars would
shouts
be...
overcome. DCM maulers are a kind of ship. I can't remember what kind. They're very common enough.
It's a ship, is all I needed to know.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it is a ship. If you look them up, they're on the archive. Neither voice suddenly comes over your personal comms. Damn it! I thought we finally lost these lizards and all, but hey, if you can get these 2 off our backs, I'll owe you one. As the Ophalant, not the Ophalant,
Wintermorn.
the Wintermorn. There we go. It mentioned Ophalant in this. And we don't call it the Ophalant anymore. It's a full of gold. And with that, the Wintermorn streaks off through the atmosphere.
How are we going?
Quick. How do we get back to town? We don't know where we are.
And Jahir,
Oh.
take like a pop shot. Just to finish it off.
Flimsy, we've got GPS on planet. It's fine.
And with that, we are going to be calling the session here.
Oh, that was intense.
Damn.
Thank you for joining us this week. I have been and will continue to be Kyron Rushmore. You can usually find me over on my channel, twitch.tv/Kyron Rushmore, where I stream 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm just starting a new game this Friday, Alien Isolation. It is a terrible idea. I hate scary games. But I've been asked to do it, and I'm going to give it my best shot. So yeah, you can see that on Friday if anybody wants to come watch me be terrified. Over to you, Flimsy.
Hello, I am 64. You can find me on my Twitch channel on Thursday evenings at 9 PM UK time, playing some No Man's Sky as we build our new civilization, and on Saturday mornings 9:30 AM playing Red Dead Redemption 2 as we are crouching ever more closely to jumping back into the story, and also helping Karen get freaked out on Fridays on that channel.
Scary noises.
Hi everyone, I am Crifu Bernal. You can find me online everywhere at Crifu Bernal. Specifically, you can find me over at my Twitch channel tomorrow as I continue my playthrough, my solo playthrough of the Pathfinder Adventure Path, Skull and Shackles. I've got other streams happening there later this week. And if you enjoyed today's stream, please feel free to join our Discord, check our calendar, for, the Manapot Discord and calendar, for all the great games that are happening here and the cool things that are on the horizon. You won't want to miss it.
Yo, I'm Crit Commissions. I do artsy things across various social media platforms under the same name.
I am Retro Ted. You can find me at twitch.tv/Retro Ted. We are rounding up Crusader Neramos. Our red man has been running around shooting people. And then we'll be moving on to Simon the Sorcerer, the original 95 point and click adventure.
Yes, just as a bit of an FYI, because I looked them up, the BCM Maulers are Vesk ships.
Vesquings, as Hexcrit said.
Yeah, one of the things that they mentioned Vesquings, but it's like the distinctive Y-shaped outline. And for anybody who is into Star Wars lore, the Y-wing is a ship. From Star Wars. Anyway, so yeah, we will be back here next week, same time, same place. So hopefully you can join us then. We are going to raid out to another channel that is streaming TTPRGs. So if you'd like to join us, it will be appreciated. If you can't, have a good time zone, and hope to see you next time. Daddy, bye.
Bye.